Well, hey there, Frisco. It is time to talk real estate, and my vocabulary word for the moment is manic.
What?
We are seeing extreme changes based on every news headline. And this month, dealing with news about the bear stock market, another increase in the federal funds rate, but this time a whopping 75 basis points, and a cooling national job market. It's a trifecta of news that does not typically bode well for real estate. So what does all of this mean for our local market in Frisco? Well, keep watching to find out. Hi, I'm Jennifer Shannon. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams serving the Frisco area, and I love to be a resource to you for all things real estate. And part of that is updating you each month on what is happening in our local real estate market. So this month, I want to talk about these big national headlines and how they are affecting our local market. Now, before you keep watching, you will have to promise me that you are going to watch through this whole video, because if you stop after the first part, you might freak out and start telling everyone that the bubble has burst. So you do need to watch to the end because there are some good things happening. Do we have a deal? Yes! Okay. So before we jump into the monthly numbers that you always hear from me, let's take a look into showing activity right here in Frisco. So here's a look at showings across different price ranges in May. We have an average of 7 to 21 showings per listing depending on your price point. And when I change our parameters to look at April, we saw anywhere from 11 to 37 showings per listing, again, depending on the price. So we can see that demand slowed from April to May, but you can also still see there is still demand. We have been predicting a softening of the market, and now it's just starting to get here. So here is another thing that I'd like to show you. Take a look at this search, and I'll link to this search in the video, or you can just type in jshannon.kw.com/search, and you can do a search for homes that have dropped their price in the last 7 days. So take a look at all of these listings in Frisco that have done that, and some of these are substantial price reductions. So this means that the days of naming your price and listing on the MLS are gone. You now have to be competitive with the market, and you have to do your research on pricing before you list. So let's take a look at all of our stats for Frisco. Interest rates are currently at 5.23% with 0.9% in fees and points at the recording of this video. And the latest data from the Mortgage Bankers Association ending on June 15th shows that mortgage applications increased week over week by 6.6%, but decreased 16% from the same time a year ago when we were in a super heightened market. And for this data, I am looking at single-family home sales data for Frisco. So these numbers are based on sales in May. The average sales price is at $817,341, a 27.2% increase from last year. Now, we did slide from last month, and we are going to keep seeing that as our market adjusts to the new demand. Month-over-month pricing will likely go down a little bit, but watch that year-over-year number. It's still going to be strong. We had 427 new listings hit the market, which is a 1.4% year-over-year increase. And even with all of these new listings, we're actually down in the number of homes available for sale because they're just not sitting that long. We currently have 334 homes for sale, and that's up 36.9% from last year. But in May of 2019, we had 1,100 homes for sale. We're down 71% from our pre-COVID levels. And the demand is also echoed in our months of supply. Regardless of the increase in interest rates and increasing number of new listings, we still only have 1.3 months of inventory. This means it would take about 5 to 6 weeks for all of the houses on the MLS to go under contract based on our current demand. The time it takes for a home to go under contract is at an average of 12 days. That's not long, folks. Our average sales price per square foot is at $236 a square foot, and that is a 22.3% increase from last year. And the amount homes are selling for over asking has dropped for the second month in a row. However, May's average was still incredible at 9.9% over asking. So if you consider our average sales price of a little over $800,000 for May, it means that the average offer is roughly $81,000 over the asking price. And you can see from this actual data that things are still positive when you compare everything to last year. Prices are up. Time on the market is low. Inventory is still heavily in seller's market territory. So the news headlines that we hear nationally can be scary. But But when you look at actual local numbers, it's not all doom and gloom. Are things slowing down? Yes. Are things less competitive for buyers? Yes. Will we probably see a little more of a stalling the second part of June because of this additional increase in the federal funds rate? Yeah. But is the bubble bursting? I don't think so. You see, the overall market for DFW is still incredibly strong. Look at these Dallas-Fort Worth economic indicators. The DFW economy expanded payroll, employment grew, unemployment went down, home sales went up, housing affordability improved in Q1. On this report, it also shows that the DFW population went up almost 100,000 folks from July 2020 to July 2021. We've heard other stories on a national level, but they don't line up with what's happening here. So this is why it is so important to look locally before making a determination on the real estate market here. And we have a lot of interest in the DFW area, and our growth in the technology sector and other businesses, along with all the folks just moving here because they can, is fueling this market demand. And I believe it is possible, like I said before, that we will see month over month shifts in pricing to adjust to the decrease in demand. And that's evidenced by the number of price drops we're seeing in the MLS. But overall, our year over year growth is still going to be incredibly strong. So what's the takeaway? Well, buyers, now is a great time to start looking at the market again if you've been sitting on the sidelines for a little bit. It is predicted that rates will continue to increase throughout the year. So now could be an ideal time for you to get back in the market when your competition is not as strong as it's been, but you also have more buying power now than you will when rates go up. And if you happen to be a power buyer, meaning you are a buyer who can pay cash, well, the odds are greatly in your favor. And sellers, you will have to start getting used to the idea of your house actually sitting on the market for a few weeks before going under contract and not getting all those multiple offers you were hoping for, especially if you're pricing on the higher end of the comparable sales that were around you. And if you are thinking of buying or selling in this market, let's talk. If you're a seller, you can attend one of my upcoming home selling webinars. In this webinar, we are going to talk about what it takes to sell your home in this market. And I am going to give you a clear picture about the expectations on sellers right now. I'll give you insight as to how to get even more out of the sale of your home, because as you can see, the market is shifting and there's much more to it now than just naming your price and simply list it on the MLS. We're also going to answer the question that a lot of sellers are asking right now, and that is, should I list now or should I wait? So you can visit homesellingwebinar.com and sign up for an upcoming virtual home selling webinar. It's free and it's online, so it's super simple. And for buyers, I've got you too. You can contact me directly about buying your next home in Frisco or attend one of my free upcoming home buyer webinars. So this webinar is a huge help for buyers. We are going to talk about what to expect in this market as a buyer and how to make strong offers. And believe it or not, it's not just about the amount of cash you're bringing to the table. It helps, but there's more to it. We'll talk about the process from a lending side, and I will go into more details on market trends and let you know which submarkets have the least amount of demand, so you know where you might have more opportunities as a buyer. And I will answer the question that most buyers are asking right now, and that is, should you wait to see if prices go down before you buy? So visit homepurchasewebinar.com to get registered for this also free online webinar. And you can always reach me directly by phone or text at 214-803-4444, or you can email me at jshannon@kw.com. Well, that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to updating you on the Frisco area real estate market next month. Bye now.